Hello, friends, and welcome to today's episode of the Self Improvement Project. I hope you're all well, and I also wonder how many times I have said that phrase for these episodes. Guys, I do truly trust that you're well. If you're in a moment or in a space where you would like to email me about how you are, any life updates. I had a listener email me the other week who sent me a wedding photo, which was just amazing. And I was so happy to see how his life was going. And these things, honestly, I cannot describe to you how much joy it brings me when I hear people living a good life that they want to. It genuinely makes my heart sing when I just sit down and I read messages from people that have that realization about life can be better if we make it better for ourselves. This also comes from my journal that I just by chance realized that I started about a year ago. So I was reading stuff from my mind a year ago. And it's always so interesting to go back to basically a moment in time in your life. How you thought back then, what headspace you were in. And it always comes back to feeling really grateful for the experience that you went through, whether it was good or bad, and how much you've grown since then as well. Even if it doesn't feel like it, you always have grown in some way, shape or form. And it's also triggered a little bit of thought for today that I want to share with you, which I hope you don't mind. And I want to talk to you about ambition. The definition of ambition, what it looks like to you, what you need to do when you maybe think it's a certain definition, but you have an alternative definition for it. How ambition has evolved through your life. So I'm going to share some thoughts on that today, and again, your own perspectives on ambition, please share in the comments. And let me know what you think about it. I'm not going to repeat myself too much here, but I've said this for years now. My favourite thing about this project, which I never thought it would be at the start, is hearing from people like you. So even if you're a bit hesitant to share, I would love to hear from you either way about your life, about your own self-improvement or your own ambitions for living a better life. So, ambition. What does it look like to you? It's obviously subjective, but wherever you live in the world, however you've been brought up, it means something different. I'm going to start with the term blind ambition. And this is where we maybe sleepwalk into what we think is the right thing or what we think is how we should live. I've been there myself. I've followed that track. And sometimes it takes a big realization for you to change paths. But also at the same time, it can get you to places where you never thought you'd be able to reach. We always talk about self-belief holding us back, but by having ambition, that can sometimes be the best antidote for lack of self-belief because we just get on with it. But as common trends in maybe the last 10 years, the idea of purpose has come up so much more. Getting purpose out of everything in our life, from our work, from our hobbies, from our relationships, from everything that we do. We need to find purpose. So I guess there's something related here with maybe purposeful ambition. Being ambitious to live a certain way or work a certain way. Ambition to socially achieve something as well. One of the best things about purpose is that it is elusive. There is no point where you reach your purpose. Yet, by defining what area it is that we want to be ambitious in, it helps us live a little bit. Helps us be motivated, helps us be inspired. So, lean into that if you're enjoying it. I think it's important to mention and heed warning here that don't follow the crowd with your ambition. That can usually end in tears or end up in misery for yourself. This is where regret can come from. This is where we can find ourselves regretting the time that we have wasted chasing something that we didn't actually care about. And maybe one of the last areas of ambition that I want to mention is just our own definition of it. In some areas of life, I am the least ambitious person in the world. But when we actually choose to hone in on the thing that we care about, the things that matter to us, you actually notice that you are a fiercely ambitious person when it comes to those things. And it feels odd because it's maybe not the thing that you've been taught to be ambitious about. The beautiful thing about life now is that you get to choose most things. You'll be influenced, you'll be marketed to about everything that you could be ambitious with. But as time goes on, you realise what's important to you. And by being ambitious with having a loving family, or being ambitious about exercise and hobbies that matter to you, is no less important than being ambitious to climb the ladder in your career, or being ambitious to make the most money you can. It's about questioning the common narratives around the definition of ambition. It's about really looking inwards towards what that actually means to you. And not worrying, not caring, it not mattering what that looks like to other people when it's within yourself. Think about how ambitious you are with the things that matter most to you in life, because it's very likely that you are going to be extremely ambitious in those areas. Ambition isn't something to beat ourselves up with. It's not anything to push ourselves down. It's not about not being ambitious enough. It's about our perspective of what ambition is. Using it to feed a wholesome life. Using it to feed the things that are only going to improve our lives and make them better as we lean into that ambition more so. Isn't that how life should be? Isn't that what we should be striving for a little bit more? So dismiss the common narratives, if you will, if that is something that is holding you back or pulling you down. Whether it's about making the most money or climbing the career ladder. If those things are pulling you down and making you feel negative, your ambition is in the wrong place. Have a think about the things that set you alight, that ignite that spark within you. That's the things you need to be more ambitious about. That's how you're going to live a life that others will only dream of living. And that's my thoughts on ambition today. I hope, as always, the time spent listening to this has been one of calm peace around you, where you can process this at will, and maybe on the rest of your walk, commute, whatever you're up to right now, you can allow them to digest and continue to formulate over time. As I mentioned at the start, if you feel obliged to write to me, please do. If you feel hesitant about sharing, please lean into that, because it matters to you, so it matters to me. Guys, it's always a pleasure sitting down to talk to you, leaning into my own ambition of being creative with this. But otherwise, guys, have a cracking week, and I will see you all next time. Cheers.